Okay, so today we are going to refresh your memories on slope. So again, if you need to pause this video to write this down, but the slope and what you guys have probably learned is that it's referred to as the variable m, and you guys have probably learned it's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. However, again, you can do y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. A lot of times we will refer to it, and you guys may have seen these symbols in your science class, and it is referred to as delta y, and delta means the change in y. So how much is the y value changing over delta x, which how much is the x value changing? So you're taking a look at, how much it's going up or down, and how much it's going over. And then your slope is written as that fraction of 2/5 or 0.4. Okay? The bigger the positive number, the more of a slope you have. Okay, so it goes up steeper. So you're looking at that decimal or that fraction of a number. And again, the bigger that number is, the steeper your slope is. Okay, looking down here, again, we read from left to right. If you are reading from left to right and it goes up, that is considered a positive slope. If you are reading from left to right and it's going down, that is a negative slope. If you are reading from left to right and there is no slope, we call that no slope or zero slope. And if you are reading it and it goes straight up and down, again, we call that undefined or no slope. Undefined. I think I said no slope for zero slope. Disregard that. This is just zero slope. Okay, so we call the others no slope or undefined. There's no slope to it. It's going straight up and down. So no slope or undefined. Here are some theorems. So if two non-vertical lines are parallel, then their slopes are equal. So in order for lines to be parallel, the slopes have to be equal. For example, if one graph goes up 1 over 3, you can see there's a line. In order for something to be parallel to that, it has to go up 1 over 3. So you guys can see that those lines would be parallel because the slopes go up 1 over 3, which is parallel to up 1 over 3. Theorem 27. If the slopes of two non-vertical lines are equal, then the lines are parallel. So this is the converse of before. I don't know why my pen is doing this. So if you see that the slopes are the same, okay, then they are parallel. If they are parallel, then their slopes are the same. Converse. The next is talking about perpendicular. Again, perpendicular means two lines that intersect at a 90-degree angle. So if we have this line, notice that one of these slopes is positive and one of these are negative, causing them to be opposite. One has to be positive, one has to be negative, and they have to be reciprocals of each other. So for example, if two lines are perpendicular, then the slopes are opposite reciprocals. So if it was negative 2/5, something that is perpendicular to that would be positive 5 over 2. So that's an example of perpendicular. And then of course the converse of this is also true. So if the slopes are opposite reciprocals, then they are perpendicular. So again, if two lines are perpendicular, then their slopes are opposite reciprocals. If they're opposite reciprocals, then they are perpendicular. Okay? We are going to do some problems. So we are going to show that triangle CEF is a right triangle. To do that, we are going to go ahead and find the slopes of the sides. So we're going to find the slope from C to F to start. So C is the 0.13 and F is the 0.47. Right? So to do this, we're finding the change in y over the change in x, or y minus y over x minus x. So my slope is going to be 3 minus 7, y minus y, over x minus x, 1 minus 4. As a slope, I am getting negative 4 over negative 3. And again, two negatives change, so I'm going to leave mine as 4/3. I'm also going to find the slope of all the other sides. So FE, again, F is 4/7, E is 8/4. So let's go ahead and find the slope. Y minus y over x minus x. So I'm getting 3 over negative 4. again, that's just negative 3/4. And CE, I'll find the slope of CE just for practice. So C is the 0.13, E is the 0.84. So to find that slope, you would do y minus y over x minus x, negative 1 over negative 7, which is 1/7. So it says, show that this is a right triangle. In order to show it's a right triangle, it has to have one right angle. And if segments are perpendicular, then it forms a right angle. So you can see that CF and FE are where the right angle is being formed. Because those are opposite reciprocals, one is positive, one is negative, and it's a reciprocal, it's flipped, I know that this is a right triangle. Okay? For the next one, it says find the slope of altitude AC. Okay, so find the slope. So let's talk about this. In order for me to find the slope of the altitude, I need to know that it hits the opposite side at a 90-degree angle. So I'm just drawing in from A to C where I think it's going to hit at a 90-degree angle. There we go. I think that looks better. So I'm going to call this C, and that's the altitude. I don't know what point C is, so in order for me to do this, I can actually find the slope of BE. Okay, so watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to find the slope of BE. So B is the point -4.3, and E is the point 6.5. So the slope of BE is y minus y, so 3 minus 5 over -4 minus 6. I'm getting -2 over -10, which reduces to a positive 1/5. Okay, that's not my answer. I shouldn't circle that. It says find the slope of the altitude. So I need a slope that is going to be perpendicular to the pink slope. Something that's perpendicular to this would be -5 over 1, or -5. Final answer, the slope of AC has to be -5, or -5 over 1. My second question asks to find the slope of median AD. So I'm going to erase this. Okay, again, there's no D on here. So it has to go from A to D, and D has to be the middle. My Apple Pen isn't working. Okay, so I have to go from A to the midpoint, and we call that midpoint D. I don't know why it's not straightening for me. There we go. Okay, it looks like that's about the middle. Boom, boom. To find the midpoint, we already worked on this. You find the middle of the x's. So you got -4 and 6. Add them together, 2 divided by 2, 1. And then find the middle of the y's. The middle of 3 and 5, I know, is just 4. Okay, so find the slope of median AD. So to find the slope of AD, A is the point -210. D is the point 1.4. So to find the slope, I would do y minus y over x minus x. And I'm getting 6 over -3, which is just -2. So the slope of that median is -2.